It's a beautiful day for remote learning, a beautiful day for a lesson. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? It's a studently day in this beauty wood, a studently day for a lesson. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? I have always wanted to have a student just like you. I've always wanted to teach in a classroom with you. So let's make the most of this beautiful day. Since we're together, might as well say, would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my student?
Hi everyone, welcome back to Miss Nichols' Neighborhood. It's me, your teacher, Miss Nickel, and I'm here with my best remote teacher helper, my sister Kaylee Nickel.
Hi.
Hi. Today's math lesson, we've learned about length, measuring across. We've learned about height, measuring from bottom to top. Today, we are going to be learning another type of measurement called weight. Not like, oh, I'm waiting in line at the ice cream store. No, spelled a little differently, but weight as in measurement of how heavy something is. Okay? Maybe you go to the doctor's office, you stand on the scale, and they take your weight. Okay? Just like we have weight, everyone has weight. Okay? Objects have weight too, how heavy or light they may be. But before I jump in too much to it, let's get comfortable with the idea of measurement of weight. I'm going to say weight, then I'm going to point to you and ask you to say weight. Ready? Weight.
Weight.
Weight. Very good. Again, weight.
Weight.
Weight. Good. The measurement of how heavy or light something is. Weight. So we're not measuring distance, we're measuring the heaviness or lightness of it. Speaking of, to describe weight, we're going to be using some words like heavier. Okay? Heavier, meaning there's more weight to it. It's heavier, really heavy. Okay? Let's get comfortable saying that word. I'm going to say heavier. I'm then going to point to you to say heavier. Ready? Heavier.
Happy.
Good. One again. Heavier.
Happy.
Heavier. Like, oh, this backpack is heavier today than yesterday. Heavy. There's more weight to it. Harder to hold. Weighs you down. Heavier. Okay? Another word we can use to describe weight is the word lighter. Lighter. Like, it's not as heavy, it's lighter. Or like light as a feather. It's not as heavy, it's lighter. Less weight to it. Okay? Let's get comfortable saying lighter. I'm going to say lighter, and I'm going to point to you to say lighter. Ready? Lighter.
Lighter.
Lighter. Good. Again. One more time. Lighter.
Lighter.
Lighter. Good. We're describing weight using terms heavier, really heavy, or lighter. And another word you might use is the word same. When two things are identical, they usually have the same weight. Okay? Let's go ahead, look up here at this first example. We have a two-way scale here, okay? Something heavier is going down towards the ground because the scale is here, then it starts to tip, and when something's really heavy in it, so that's heavier, okay? There's a line from the bike to the heavier side. The shoe to the heavier side. I don't know why I said bike. The shoe to the heavier side because the shoe is heavier. It weighs more. But here we have a pencil. just a light little pencil. It's so light we can easily write with a pencil. The pencil's lighter, so it goes on the part of the scale that's lifted up. Since it's lighter, the pencil doesn't weigh the scale down as much. It's lighter. So the pencil goes to the lighter side, right there. The shoe is heavier, more weight to it. Okay? If you put a shoe on your hand, it'd probably feel heavier, so your hand might drop a little bit. But if you had a pencil on your hand, it'd just be like, oh, just a pencil. Shoe, heavier, pencil, lighter. I know this was a lot of words at you, okay? But we're going to continue with some problems. We're going to have two objects. We have to compare the objects. If an object's heavier, we circle it. If it's lighter, meaning not as much weight to it, we put an X through it. And finally, if it's the same object with the same weight, we're going to underline them. Okay? So get ready, because we're going to come back with our next few problems describing weight using words like heavier, lighter, and the same weight.
Yeah.
On to the next part.
Ooh.
Here's our next two problems. Well, let's go ahead. Let's start with problem 2. I see we have a computer and a computer mouse. We need to compare these two objects. Now, unlike, meaning different from, when we were learning about length and height, I had these cool little tricks like drawing lines to help us figure out the length and height of things. For weight, you can't really draw lines for anything. The best thing you can do is think about, if I were to carry these objects, a computer and a mouse, which one is heavier, which one would be lighter? Heavier, probably harder to carry. Lighter, probably easier to carry. And I know all my students are very strong, might be like, oh, I can carry it. But think, which one might be a little heavier, a little more difficult to carry, and which one might be a little lighter, easier to carry, okay? So let's think about that for a computer and a mouse pad. Kaylee, do you have an idea? Which one, a computer, a big computer, or a mouse, which one's heavier, weighs more? Yes, nice job. I would agree the same thing. I've had to carry these before when setting up our classroom. Computers are heavy. It's hard to carry. They're heavier. Nice job, Kaylee. A computer is heavier. So we're going to circle it. If a computer is heavier, what's lighter? Not as heavy, Kaylee. Doesn't weigh as much. Yes, the computer mouse. Like at school, we've used computer mouse or mice before. They're pretty light. You pick it up, you move it with your hand. Computer mouse, pretty light. So we'll go ahead, put an X through the computer mouse. Nice job. We just got our first real taste here of comparing the weight of objects. We thought about computers, said computers, heavier, weighs more. Mouse, lighter, a little easier to carry, not as heavy. Let's keep that imagination thinking about what these objects might weigh, how they might feel to carry, one's heavier or lighter, as we go on to the next problem. Okay?
Hi.
Problem number 3. We have a bike helmet and a bike. I want you to think very carefully about these objects. What is heavier? Like heavier, harder to carry, heavier. And what's lighter? Okay? A bike helmet, we pretty much pick up, put on our head. We're kind of able to carry that, not too heavy. A bike, do you think we'd be able to lift that above our head though, like a bike helmet? No, I think because it weighs more, kind of might be heavier. So thinking about these objects, and make sure you're thinking and following along at home, checking your answers. Kaylee, what do you think is heavier? It might be harder, like you're carrying it, might be heavier. What might that be? Yes, I would say a bike does weigh more. They can be heavier, harder to carry because they weigh more. Good. So we're going to go ahead and circle the bike. It's heavier. Nice. Okay. The bike is heavier, so what's lighter then? Not as heavy. Yes, the bike helmet's definitely lighter. We put on the helmet easily on and off. Not much weight to it. Good job. Since the bike helmet's lighter, we put an X through it. Good job. We just had some comparison of weights. We said that the bike was heavier than a bike helmet, which is lighter. Hopefully you're working to imagine if you had to carry or weigh these things, how heavy or light they might be. That's going to help us as we continue with these problems.
Okay.
Here's our next problem. We're taking a little break from drawing a circle on the heavier objects and an X on the lighter objects, and instead we're being asked to draw lines to where these objects would go on the scale. We have to think very carefully about this. We have a paper clip, and I think what looks to be like a little lunch box. Think about what's heavier and lighter, paper clip or lunch box. Then we have the scale. As you'll see on the scale, one box is closer to the ground. That's because it's carrying something heavier. So we need to draw a line from the heavier object to the box that's going down. It's being weighed down with the heavier object. And on this side of the scale, we have a box that's up higher, away from the ground, because it's with the lighter object. It's easily being lifted by the heavier object on that side. Heavier object's lifting it up because it's lighter. I know, you might be like, that's an interesting explanation of a scale, but I'm trying to help you envision it. Okay, let's start with which object is heavier. Which object is heavier than it goes on the being weighed down side, Kaylee? Which one is heavier? Yes, good job. The lunchbox is heavier, more weight to it. Okay, so we're going to draw a line from the lunchbox to the side of the scale that's being weighed down with something heavier. Good. Here comes the lunchbox. Good job. Now, if the lunchbox is heavier, what object is lighter? Not as much weight, not as heavy. Yes, the paper clip goes there. Paper clips are so small, light, they barely weigh anything. Okay? So we're going to draw a line from the paper clip to this side of the scale. Nice job. We looked at the scale. Drew a line from the heavier object to the side of the scale that's being weighed down. Because it's heavier, it falls back down towards the ground. And we put the paper clip in the side that's going up because it's lighter. The lunchbox is pushing down on the scale, raising the very light paper clip up. There's my interpretation of a scale. Lunchbox, paper clip. Tipping the scale.
Beep, beep.
Nice job. Hopefully this kind of is making sense. You gotta really just try your best to think about what's heavier and what's lighter. Okay?
Okay.
Just keep doing your best. We have 2 more problems for this lesson video.
Thank you.
Here we are with our last two problems for this lesson video. Okay? Let's look at problem number 5. There's no scales here, so we're back to circling the object that's heavier, putting an X on the object that's lighter, and underlining objects if they're the same thing, weighing the same. Okay? Let's look at problem 5. We have a mixing bowl and we have a wooden spoon. Mixing bowl, spoon. I want you to think about if you were to hold that, which object would be heavier and which one lighter? Okay? Which one weighs more? Make sure you're thinking about it, following along, double checking your answer. Okay? Do you have an idea, Kaylee? Which of these objects is heavier? Yes, I'd agree. The mixing bowl is heavier. You gotta think about it. It's a bigger object, even though bigger objects can be lighter sometimes too. Bigger object, more weight to it. Okay, might be out of a material that weighs more. The bowl usually weighs more. Okay, so since it's heavier, we're gonna circle the bowl. If the bowl's heavier, what's lighter, Kaylee? Yes, the spoon is lighter. We use the spoon to mix things. We can pick that up, move it pretty easily because it doesn't weigh very much. It's lighter, less weight, lighter. Good. So we put an X through the spoon. It's lighter. Good job. That was kind of a tricky one. Had to really think there. Bowl heavier, spoon lighter. Let's go ahead and look at our last problem, okay? Problem number 6. I see a gallon of milk that's green, and I see a gallon of milk that's red. Or maybe it's juice. But I'm going to pretend it's milk that's been dyed or colored. Maybe green milk for St. Patrick's Day and red milk for Valentine's Day. Who knows? Kind of fun, okay? Think very carefully. Are these different objects with the different weights? Or are they the same object, just different colors? Are they the same objects with the same weight? I think they are the same weight. They're both gallon of milk. They're both filled up with liquid inside of them. They'd probably be the same weight. Just because they're different colors probably doesn't change their weight. If I held the green milk in this hand and the red milk in this hand, they'd weigh the same. The same object filled with the same amount of liquid, just different colors, they'd weigh the same thing. If you don't believe me, maybe you can check your fridge, ask your parents if you can weigh the gallons of milk. Okay? Since they're the same object, filled with the same stuff, just different colors, I think these are the same weight, guys. Yeah, I know I didn't give you a ton of think time like I usually do in these lessons, but we hadn't encountered or seen a problem like this yet, so I wanted to really help us out here. Same object, just different color, but since they're the same object, same weight. That means we're going to underline these gallons of milk. They're the same weight. Wow. And that pretty much wraps up our lesson video. I really hope you remember weight, the measurement of how heavy or light something is. Some words we used to describe weight today were heavier. The bowl is heavier than the spoon. The spoon is lighter, doesn't weigh as much. We also talked about how the same objects, even if it might be slightly different colors, same weight, okay? Make sure you keep this in mind as you continue working and practicing through your learning packet. Just try your best and have a great rest of your remote learning day. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.